Hi, my name is Keith Ferrazzi and I want to introduce you to Dr. Jeff Kaplan. Dr. Kaplan is somebody who has made such an impact at Ferrazzi Greenlight. We began to unleash him with our clients and our prospects and put him on stage and taking the intellectual property that he with us develops inside of our organizations in the area of sales, in the area of leadership, in the area of brand marketing. This individual comes alive in powerful ways that you are really going to be thrilled and excited to see. This is a guy with insight, with wisdom, with experience. I could not be prouder to have him representing our work. I could not be prouder to be able to represent him.
When you're training really sophisticated, very seasoned sales professionals, they've seen it all. What they haven't done is always processed it all and put it into a system that they can act on and control. That's the beauty of this system, is that we bring a process, we bring a strategy, we bring a framework so you can approach your relationships and literally achieve your goals through them while you're helping others. Not only am I a third-generation salesperson, but you see, the world of sales that I grew up in is entirely different than what sales is today. In those days, sales was about putting something over on someone. Sales was about, any sale represented a win and a loss, and it usually was a loss at the customer's standpoint. They were usually exhausted. They had to search out best prices. They didn't have the expertise or the ability to rely on others to know they made a good deal. And it was really hard living in a house where I knew every time my dad had a big win, it was at someone else's expense. My mom always told me, get your education will set you free, and you will not have to be a salesperson like your dad was. So I go, I get education, I succeed to the point where I receive my doctorate, I start moving up in the executive ranks, ran my own business, but guess what? Every single place I went, the top levels of every single enterprise were what? They were ultimately sales jobs. Now granted, they're not the kind of transactional sales jobs that go out and try to get somebody to sign a piece of paper, but ultimately the top jobs are all about sales and all about networking. So even though I never wanted to be a salesperson, if you want to succeed, there is no other job.
That in school, we had a reason to have our teams, right? We had projects every week. We had something that drew us back into that team concept, and we might not have known the value of those teams as lifeline groups, as people that we can depend on, but we understand it and we see it now. What we want to make sure that we do now that we're out of the University of Phoenix system is that we recreate that in our lives as the basis for our networking. Now believe me, there are tactical and practical skills behind this. There is a process that we can show you how you take your goals and you attach them to the people that can make those goals a reality, and then how you have a process of outreach to make it all come together to literally, processually create the reality you want. We can give that to you. But today we needed to spend the time to create a foundation. And I don't want you to undervalue that foundation because, number one, I believe that most of us would have left our teams back at the University of Phoenix as a concept that was associated with our degree rather than a concept that could change our life. If you think about the fact that when two networks come together, they exponentially expand the possibilities of each network. So if you have a group of just 3 people in your lifeline group, that makes your network 1,000 times more powerful. But it really requires that you have a conversation that says, I understand what you're about. I get you. I see you as a whole person. We've exchanged our passions and our dreams, and now I want to do everything in my power to make you successful. Will you do the same for me? And now I've got a group of people, a small group to start, and that's where we are today, that are out in the world, experiencing the world, not only on their behalf, but our behalf. That's where it starts. Because if we want to create a community, an alumni network of 1 million people, we really need to create 250,000 lifeline groups of 4. So how are we going to actualize this? How are we going to make this come alive right here in Southern California, not starting a week from now, not starting a month from now, but right now? It's nice to have the concept, right? We understand that we have 500,000 graduates. We get that. We understand that we have 400,000 currently active students, which, by the way, is 10 times larger than the number 2 largest school, okay? And it's a big number when you say 1 million people. But think about it. If you put them together in such a way that we can access all we know and who we know, it's not about just the million people. There's not a person on the planet that we can't get to through that network. And we see it over and over again with these connections. It is such an exciting day, and I'm so proud to be a part of it. Once again, this was foundational. There's processes above this that can actually make it systematic, part of your life where you expand your network, how you expand your network, how you manage that network, how you reach out on a regular basis to grow your relationships and still have time to have a life. There's a lot of other content that we can share with you, so we'll be looking to you for that. And I want to make sure you understand this isn't about exchanging resumes. This isn't about simply creating a job bank. That's not what it's about. Because we want more for you than that. We want you to think bigger than simply trying to create a job or create a career. We want you to try to help you, through other people, find the thing that is most important in your life and satisfy that. Because I've had titles and I've had salaries that have far exceeded what I'm doing now, but I've never had more satisfaction. And with satisfaction comes happiness, and then everything else follows. So our vision is much higher than that. And it's only through reaching out to other people that we can create that. So that's what our vision's about today. I want you just to take 1 second and just look around the room and know that you were in this room. Because 10 years from now, this will be a movement, and you were here the first day. Just take a moment to think about that. So 10 years from now, we'll see those pictures. We're imagining our future. We're starting to focus. We're going to target together on how we're going to get there. And together, we're going to make it happen. So not only am I excited to share this with you, but I'm so excited and thankful that you came out. Thank you for being a part of this.
Colleagues within our own organization talk about trying to find balance between work and life. Well, guess what? You're spending 2,080 hours every single year working, and that's only if you work 40 hours a week. That's a lion's share of the time that you're awake, and you're awake at work. It isn't work life. Work is a good part of your life. So why not try to meld those two together? Why not include your family with your coworkers and your friends? Why not make work fun and have all the people that you care most about all in one place doing things to help each other become more successful? It's proven that if people start to envision the exact elements of what success will be like at some point in the future, that it'll help them bridge the gap between now and that point.